Good morning, dear students. Today's topic is research design, module 2 in managerial research method. So, let me understand what exactly the research design talks about. The research design is a blueprint. It is a blueprint or a framework what exactly the researchers is going to carry out in his research process. It is a planning process, how to conduct a research and when to conduct a research, where to conduct a research, and how it is going to be end. Because when conducting a research process, the researcher should have a content or checklist where exactly he is. So what are the process he already taken and what exactly the steps he need to take in the future, and he will be having a track exactly I'm going according to the plan done for my research. So that is why the research is a blueprint, it is a framework, or it is a master plan for conducting a research. And it may be a detailed statement can be provided by the researcher or only a furnishing a minimum information about the research. So he is going to understand by looking at a research design, he is going to understand what exactly he wants to do. It may be consisting of a detailed information or only a minimum information regarding to the researcher. In precise, the research design can be called as a master plan or a framework or a blueprint of conducting a research by researcher. It is going to be designed by researcher himself. Those who want to conduct a research only need to develop a research design, because he will be knowing what exactly he want to do in his research process. So this research design is going to be developed by the researcher himself. So after understanding a research design, let me take up how decisions are going to be addressed. How decisions are going to be addressed by developing a research design. So some of the questions are going to be clearly answered while developing your research design. First one is, what is a study about? The nature of the research you are going to make a specification in research design. What type of research I am going to conduct. And the next one is, why the study being made? The objective of the research, the purpose, the aim, the goal of a research you are going to make a specification. Next one is, where will the study be carried out? The location, because the researcher will be finding a particular location to conduct a research. You cannot do a research anywhere, and you cannot collect the data elsewhere. So you will be having some particular location and you will be having a particular respondent to give a data for your queries or your research problem. So you need to specify in which location the research is going to be carried out. And the next one is, the type of data is required. Data, as I told you, we will be having a two sources of data. One is primary data, another one is secondary data. He is going to mention in a research design what type of data is really required. Either it is completely primary data, or it is a secondary data, or it is a combination of both primary and secondary data. He will be mentioning in research design. And next is, where can the required data can be found? So you need to have a vision that where exactly the data can be collected, because the respondents are scattered. The respondent will not come to a researcher doorstep and is not going to provide a data. The researcher need to go in search of a respondent who is relevant to give an answer for a particular selected topic to do a research. So he is going to ensure that where he can collect the relevant data exactly, he is going to mention the address in research design. And the next one is, the time period and the study would cover, means that is a time bound. As I told you, the research should start, it is going to start, and there should be end for doing a research. The time bound you need to specify, either it is 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, how many years you want to set to complete that particular research process. You need to mention that. And sample design, I'll tell you in further classes. So sample design, we are having two techniques actually, probability technique and non-probability technique. Under that we are going to study a sample, and what would be the sample design. Samples design in the sense, take example, this is a total population. The people are scattered here, and only you are going to select one particular unit as your respondent. So this is called as a sample for a research. Only out of total population, only small unit you are going to select in order to give a response to your research queries. So that design is also going to be decided in a research design. So it will be very much clear what type of a sample I need to take, and where exactly the respondents are there, and where exactly I'll be getting a data. So next one is what technique of data collection will be used. So technique, here I spoke about a type of data, either it is a primary data or a secondary data. Here we are going to talk about techniques of data collection. Either it is, if it is comes under primary data, you will be having a observation, interview, survey, everything will be there. If it is a secondary data, you will be having a journals, you will be having a website, articles, newspapers, any existing. So which technique exactly you are going to use, it is going to be decided upon the type of data is required. Okay, so next one is how will the data be analyzed. So as I told you, collected data need to be analyzed carefully. So in order to analyze, we are going to use many statistical tools depending upon a nature of the research. The statistic analysis is always going to be depend on nature of research. So we are having many statistical tools, that is J-square, t-test, z-test, ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, MANOVA. Many types of statistical tools are there in order to analyze your data, but it is depends on nature of the research, and is going to specifically tell that which statistical tools is going to use in order to analyze the data, and in what style will the report to be prepared. So we'll be having a standard styles for preparation of a report. You will be having in your syllabus also in a last chapter, report writing. So what style the university or the institution is going to be demand for, in that particular format is going to prepare a report. But in a common sense, the reports are going to be prepared in which a common man can also read and understand what is there exactly in a research report. So these are all the components, and these are all points where the researcher is going to mention in research design. And the next slide is going to talk about considering the question. A research design can be split into following part. So the previous question, this one, what we discussed, these points, considering all this question, the research designs are going to be split into many parts. First part is sampling design. So it is going to deal with selecting item to be observed for a given study. So as I told you, so this is a total population again, and this you are going to select it as a sample size, and here where you are going to observe the thing and you are going to collect the required data for your study. So that is called as a sampling design. So we are having many type of sampling design, simple random sampling, stratified sampling, snowball sampling, everything we are going to discuss in a next chapter actually. So sampling design, so you are going to decide about your sample, and you are going to decide upon data to be collected in a sampling design of your research design part. And the second one is observational design, which relate to condition under which the observations are to be made. Under which condition, either it is in a artificial environment or it is a actual environment. So in order to observe the things, we may conduct a mock interview. Take example, how students are going to behave in a interview hall. We can conduct a mock interview, and we can visualize how people or students are going to behave in a interview hall. That is an artificial environment, or actually going to the where exactly interview is conducting, and how students are behaving. So artificial environment is also there, actual environment environment, natural environment is also there. So you are going to observe the things and you are going to record the things. So that is also you are going to mention in research design. And the statistical design, as I told you, it is going to be talk about how you are going to analyze the collected data, which statistical tool you are going to use. Basically these are three major points you need to take very much care in taking a decision. Based on these three, the operational designs are going to be happen. So the sample design is decided. Based on the sample design, the observational and the statistical tools are going to be decided. Once all these three are decided properly, the operational designs is going to be decided. Means operational design means it is actual implementation of the research design. So this need to be consider while preparing a research design. These are some parts actually we are for understanding purpose, what exactly the research design, how exactly it is, and what are all included in a research design. So sampling design, observational, statistical, and operational design. And the next one is elements of research design. So what would be included? So you came to know sampling style will be there, observational style will be there, statistical style will be there, everything will be there, but some mandatory fields are there. That mandatory fields can be called as elements of a research design. That is title of the study. So as I told you, customer satisfaction, you want to do a research on customer satisfaction. So you cannot give as a customer satisfaction only. So the title need to be framed very much carefully. So take example, a study on customer satisfaction towards a handicraft product, Bangalore. So it is very much specifically telling that how customers are satisfied by consuming or purchasing a handicraft product in a Bangalore. So that should be a title of your study. So always as a study is going to be, the title of the study is going to be start with a study on, okay. So it is a standard prefix actually to frame your title, a study on. And the next one is introduction. So introduction, as I told you here, a study on customer satisfaction towards handicrafts, Bangalore. So introduction, you are going to talk about handicraft products here, okay. So handicraft products and the customer satisfaction, you are going to talk brief introduction about customer satisfaction towards handicraft product. And next thing is statement of problem. So it is very crucial part in a research design actually. So you are going to tell very specifically what is the problem you are going to identify and do the research. Yes, of course it is a customer satisfaction, but where exactly you are lagging. So no, customers are not satisfied with the design of the handicraft, color of the handicraft, the culture of the handicraft, the recent trends, it is not applicable in a handicraft, in where the customers are not satisfied. You are going to specify that particular problem in statement of the problem. So of course the major core of a study is identifying a customer satisfaction, but where exactly customers are not happy with the design, not happy with the color, not happy with the recent trends. So you are going to mention a specific problem in your statement of the problem. Review of literature, we are going to call it as ROL also. Review of literature means you are going to review the existing literature, either it is an article, journal, or anything, books, newspapers, records, documentation which is already existed, and you are going to review the literature or existing data which is pertaining to or relating to your research topic only. So that is called as a review of literature. Why you want to do this review? Because you will be getting an idea where exactly some researchers, some scholars, some doctorates are talking about exactly the outcome or the problem of a specified topic, and that is going to give an insight, and that is going to be a base for your research, and where in which direction you need to take forward your research. So review of literature is a very important aspect for a study purpose. The recent 5 years, the last 5 years reviews we are going to do. If you are doing a actual research process for your PhD, doctorate, and all, minimum 10 to 15 years review you have to do. Last 10 to 15 years review you have to do. If it is a dissertation, last 5 years review you have to do. And the next one is scope of the study. Scope of the study, you are going to talk about where exactly you are conducting a study, means the boundaries of your study. The boundary of your study. Yesterday I quoted example in your research problem. I'm going to conduct a research of customer satisfaction towards handicraft products in Bangalore. Yes, your boundary is Bangalore. You are going to collect the data only in Bangalore, not anywhere else apart from your Bangalore. Okay, so the scope of the study is going to be confined to only in Bangalore, that too only to the handicraft products, and that too only towards, if you have mentioned any problem in your statement of the problem, towards a design of a handicraft product. Take example here. So your scope is only limited to this particular boundary only. Whatever happens beyond that, that is not your responsibility. That is what you are clearly telling, that scope of the study. I am doing only in this limitation, boss. I am only doing only in this particular boundary, boss. I am not going to be consider other environment beyond Bangalore. I am not considering what happens customer satisfaction in Tumkur, what happens customer satisfaction in Kerala, what happens customer satisfaction in Tamil Nadu. I am not worrying about that. Only the scope of the study is Bangalore customer satisfaction towards the handicrafts. Okay, next one is objectives of the study. So objectives of the study, you need to make very much specification here. The purpose of the study, of course your purpose of the study is to identify customer satisfaction. So we will be having a sub objectives here. So objectives, how customers are happy with purchasing of handicraft product, to study the customer preferences in purchasing of handicraft product. And one more thing here, the objectives always starts with 2. Always starts with 2. So when you are setting your objectives, to study, to understand, to examine, to analyze, so this kind of words you need to use. So what is you are going to set as a objectives, we are having a set standard to set of objectives. So always objectives are going to starts with 2. So this is going to give a clear specification or clarity what exactly the researchers want to do in his research, the purpose of the study, the goal of the study or aim of the study. Next one is hypothesis. As I told you, hypothesis is going to talk about the assumption, the tentative assumption. Yes, customers satisfaction towards handicraft product pertaining to design. So the design of the handicraft products having an impact on customer satisfaction, that is alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis, the design of the handicraft products is not having an impact on customer satisfaction. Either these two assumption, you are going to prove or disprove one assumption. Either design is having an impact or design is not having an impact. So that is a tentative assumption you are going to do. Because why the assumption need to be made, ma'am? Because you will not be knowing the answer, you will not be knowing the output of your research. After making collection of the data, after analyzing that, then only you are going to have some output which is related to your topic. So here we are going to make an assumption. So either the assumption you want to prove it. Okay, next one is operational definition and the concept. So Here operational definition in the sense any definitions, advantages, disadvantages, any framework related to your topic you can develop here. So it is some theoretical work in a research process, confined to some meanings and inputs you are going to give, because we are a management students and we'll be knowing what exactly the customer satisfaction is. But for a common man, what is customer satisfaction? That those aspects you are going to be confined in operational definitions of the concepts. Okay, next is geographical area covered. So it is very much specification you are going to do here. Geographical area covered, Bangalore. So whole Bangalore you cannot do the survey, because we are having a huge population and huge sample size. So you are going to make a geographical location Bangalore North, or Bangalore South, or Bangalore East, or take any particular mall, any Gopalan mall. So you are going to make a specification of a location, geographical area where exactly you are conducting or covering to do your research. Okay, next one is methodology. So methodology I'll discuss. We are having many types of research. We are going to discuss that in this chapter only. So methodology, what type of a research method you are adopted, what is your sample size, everything is going to be confined here. Okay, so methodology, types of research methods we are going to decide. So next is sampling, what type of a sampling you are going to decide. As I told you, it is depends on probability sampling and non-probability sampling. For doing a research, always some researchers prefer to go for probability sampling only. So all these aspects clearly you are going to be understand in a further chapters. Okay, so next one is tools for collection data, either it is a questionnaire, your interview, survey, how you are going to design a tool for collecting of a data from your respondent. And a plan of analysis means how your data are going to be represented in a tabular format, because the collected raw information will not be in an understandable manner. You need to arrange it in an understandable manner, and you are going to do some analysis, correct? So coding, decoding, encoding, everything will be there in a process of arrangements of your data. After making a meaningful arrangements of the data, you are going to apply some statistical tools there in order to analyze the collected data. And last one is a research report. A beautiful report need to be prepared by you. Some of the phrases are there in preparing a research report. We, you, I should not be used. Okay, so some research phrases are there, only those phrases you need to use. Exaggeration and articulation of your report should not be done. It should be a simple English, and it should be understandable by people who is going to read it. And keeping in mind a target audience and a target people who is going to read a report, according to that report should be developed. Okay, and the time schedule and the financial budget. So time bound I told, and the budget, the cost involved to do your research process. So these are some of the elements should be included in your research design. And the next is need for research design. Why we need to prepare a research design, where exactly it is going to help us in the sense a researcher reduce inaccuracy. You will be having a plan, yes, exactly, I want to do this. So if you are not having a plan, you are going to waste your time, and you may not be having a accuracy in your doing a research process. So when you are having a plan, who is our respondent, what the data I need to collect, where exactly I need to collect, and what is the location I need to clear, so you will be having some clarity, and that clarity leads for accuracy in preparing a report. And next one is maximize efficiency and reliability. So you'll be knowing actual sources of data to be collected, and where exactly you need to do the research process. So you will be concentrating on that particular sources and that particular analysis only. So you will be getting a maximum efficiency and reliabilities of collection of data and doing your research also. Eliminate bias and errors. So when you're having a plan with you, errors, and I'm not telling that all researchers will be giving 100% accuracies in a research. There will be some biases, of course, I agree, but that bias and errors are going to be minimized. It will not be more when you are having a plan and blueprint with you, what exactly you want to do. That bias and errors are going to be minimized. And next one is minimum wastage of time. You will be having a timetable, what to do, when to do, where to do, how to do, who want to do, everything. You are having a plan, and that plan is going to help you implement properly, and that avoids a wastage of time. Because why you want to avoid the wastage of time, in the sense, you will be having a time bond for the completion of the research process. I'm not telling that you need to finish in that particular time bond only. You may extend your research time also, but try to finish off your research process with a specified time bond only. Otherwise the research report may not be relevant for after that time passes in a particular environment. So the wastage of time is going to be minimized. You will be having a maximum efficient to use your time for doing a research. And next one is helpful for collecting a research material. So you are having a plan that you are decided about the sample size, and you are decided about the collection of data collection tools and all. So that is going to help you exactly to go to particular point, finish off your work and come back. So you will be having clear idea where exactly I need to collect the research materials. Go there and pick the materials and come. Pick the materials in the sense, it is not so easy. Go and pick the materials, you will be finding some difficulties, but in order to find an answer for your research question, definitely you need to put some effort to get a correct answers for your, or better answers for your research problem. And it is going to give an idea regarding a type of research required in terms of money, manpower, time and effort. So exactly, so all the research process steps is not going to be conducted only by the researcher. So if it is a big projects given by the government, given by some university, of course you need a manpower for data collection, for analysis, and what is the cost involved in that. Everything can be clearly planned, and manpower who want to do which work, everything is assigned, and according to the assigned task, the research process is going to be carried out by individuals in order to complete the research. And it is going to help in relevant data collections and the analysis. As I told you, tools and techniques are already decided. According to that particular tools, you are going to collect the data, and according to set statistical tools, you are going to make analysis, and which gives an accurate outcome for your research and provides an overview to other experts. So those who are reviewing your report, it is going to provide overview of your research process, what exactly you are going to do in your research. So it is going to give some inputs for some expert by looking at your research design. Yes, this researcher is going to do a exact process of this particular research. So that is also provided, because as I told you in beginning, research design is a blueprint, it is a plan. Looking at this, how you will be having a plan of your home, no, like that. Looking at that, anybody can make out, the experts can make out, overviewing that what exactly the researcher is going to do, and guide the research in a right direction. Every day you'll be having a checklist. I did this, I did this, I did this, and what else I need to go for the next. So you'll be in a right track, because I'm not telling that researchers is going to not going to deviate, it definitely is going to deviate. So better have a blueprint with you, always giving a alert for a researcher not to deviate from the research topic. Okay, these are a need why we want to prepare a research design. And the next is important features of a research design. So what are the important features? So a clear statement of a research problem. It is mentioning what exact problem you are going to do your research, and what are the procedures and technique you are going to use in order to gather the information. That is what we discussed in a previous slide. And population to be studies. So what is your population, how you are going to divide your sample by applying probability sampling technique or non probability sampling technique, and method used to processing and analysis of the data, the statistical tools what I said. So depending upon nature of the study, the statistical process are going to be conducted. These are all important features of the research design. One is clarity about your problem, procedures and technique to be used for gathering the information, and population to be studied, and process of analyzing your data. So these are some important features of a research design. And this is a research design process again. We are having some steps here, defining research problem. So exactly the elements of a research design on and the same, actually some here and there we are having a mismatch with the words, that's all. So your research, defining a research problem means framing a title where exactly your statement of your problem. Okay, assess the value of the information. You need to assess the value of information means how it is needed and how it is required for the society. So the value need to be assessed by the researcher, either my research is going to be useful for someone or not. And select the approach of data collection, and select the measurement technique. We are having attitude scale, observational projective technique, depth interview, focus interview, reference group, mail order method. Many techniques we are going to decide upon that. And sample selection also we are going to do on a different scale. It is depends on a population, how much population we are having in a selected location. On that population size, we are having some tools to decide upon the samples. So blindly we are not going to select the sample size. So it is depends on total population. The total population, we are going to apply some formula there, and then we are going to decide upon the sample size. And the mode of analysis, that is statistical tools what you are going to use. And ethics, of course, from the beginning I am telling ethics should be followed by the researcher. He should not find any shortcuts for completion of the research, because it will not having any value, so it will not having a accurate data. It will not be having accuracy in a report evidence. So follow some ethics, even though it is a time consuming. Collect accurate data, give a proper report to a people, and estimated time and financial requirements, and prepare a research proposal. So same thing what we discussed in our last slide, the same things are also there included in a research design process also. So next is research objectives. We can identify here everything, all three types we are going to discuss in detail in a further classes. Just a glimpse I am going to give now. First one is exploratory research, which is going to give a preliminary information, that's all. Somebody not done in-depth research on that. So here the exploratory research is going to give a preliminary information for us, which is going to help us to suggest some hypothesis. Okay, so next one is descriptive research. It is going to describe. Descriptive research, in the sense we can call it as a qualitative research also. Why? Because it is going to talk about customer attitude, satisfaction, perception, demographical level, and potentiality of the product, either it is good, bad, a grade, not a grade. So all this kind we are going to do the research. So that kind of research is called as a descriptive research. And casual research, as I told you, testing of hypothesis here. How interesting the casual research is. It is going to make a study on cause and effect. How, in the sense, I'll just quote a small example here for the casual research. Children drinking a Horlicks and children's not drinking a Horlicks. So after making some research, the cause and effect. So cause is drinking a Horlicks, people will become a taller, stronger and sharper. And children's not drinking a Horlicks, they'll not become a taller, sharper and stronger. Oh, that is the cause is drinking Horlicks, effect is people becoming taller, stronger and sharper. So that relationship we are going to study in a casual research. The detailed things we are going to discuss in a next classes. So this is the chart I want to show you, where exactly the types of research designs we have. So exploratory, descriptive and casual. So exploratory research we have conclusive research. Under conclusive research we are having two, that is descriptive and the casual. And again descriptive research are classified into cross sectional design and longitudinal design. So all these types we can discuss in a next class. This is about a small class about your research design. We'll be continue with the types of research design in next classes. Any doubts, you can drop me a message and ask me the concept to repeat in any other classes. Thank you so much, guys.